Hi everyone, welcome to DiademAnalytics, your go-to channel for expert tips and tutorials on data analytics, visualization, and automation. I am excited to start this new series, turning unstructured data into insightful, interactive, and dynamic dashboard in Excel. In this comprehensive tutorial, I will guide you step by step through the process of developing this dashboard. As a quick overview, this step-by-step journey will help you transform raw, unstructured data into insightful and dynamic dashboard. Here is what to expect. First, we will start by creating a flexible connection between our raw data folder and the dashboard workbook. This ensures the templates function reliably regardless of the computer they are used on, preventing error caused by inconsistent file paths. Then we'll go into the Power Query, where you will learn how to clean, restructure, and transform your data like a pro. Next, we're going to create a dynamic calendar table based on the data. And then we're going to establish relationship between different data tables for efficient analysis and reporting. I will also guide you through the process of creating advanced calculations using data analysis expression DAX to unlock actionable insights. Finally, we will design interactive dynamic dashboard to share our insights. By the end of this series, you will have all the tools you need to confidently transform unstructured data into insightful dashboard suitable for decision making. So let's take a look at what we have here. I have developed this dashboard on another PC and then transferred to this PC, and I have the 5 parts to this dashboard, of the 5 parts of the data source for this dashboard are static at the moment. Okay, so I'll just try to navigate, just play around the dashboard. Okay, this is working fine, but the issue is when you have data updated in the data folder, it cannot refresh because the 5 parts would be invalid. Okay, if we try to refresh this, you will definitely get an error message. All right, let's take a look at the queries. Okay, you can see the order, which is the main data for this query, is broken. The start date, end date, and then the calendar that was viewed is on the data. They are all broken because the source is broken. All right, because of invalid file path. Okay, how do we resolve this issue? That is what we are going to cover in this tutorial. Okay, let's get started. The goal of this whole tutorial is to build this dashboard from the very first step to the last point where we can have this dashboard. All right, so stick to this channel and follow every step in building this dashboard. We're going to start with the dynamic file path because it is very important to me in the process of building any dashboard templates and all that. Because I don't want a situation where after building dashboard, it won't work on another PC. I don't really want that stress, and I believe you don't also want that stress, and you want it to be seamless. Whenever you send out template, it can be refreshed, open, and the person can really review the whole process. So what I'm going to do is to start from the very first step that I usually take First, it will be setting up the folder structure and then building the dashboard, the dynamic file part. It's very, very important. Okay, so let's get started the whole process. Thanks. So here I have created this dashboard and I've called it order dashboard. So in here I am going to store everything that has to do with this very dashboard I am developing. Okay, so in here I have currently the data part, data folder. Okay, and I have 3 files in there. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what the data is like. So we're going to clean up this and restructure the data and make it suitable for our analysis. So that's another step we're going to do after this video. Right now we're going to focus on developing 5 parts for this project. It's important that we just have a look at what the data is, and that's just that. So we're just looking out for this very first sheet. Okay, so let's save this file and we are going to save it in this very location. So we're hitting very point. All right, so I'm gonna call this dashboard, and it will be stored in the order folder. By this is the data. I'll have my template in here called dashboard. Okay, and I'm gonna tag DiademAnalytics here. All right, first thing first, I want to call this sheet by part with no space. Now from the cell A1 I want to call the target, and then I'll call here range name, and I'm gonna call here link. All right, first I want the current file path, that is the file path of this very template. The dashboard file is what I am looking for, and that would be equal to cell. Okay, and we're looking for file name, so we just close it out and hit enter. Okay, we have that. So next we want to get the folder where this file is being stored, so we're going to call it current folder path. Like just say current folder path. To get this, we actually need 2 Excel functions. We need the left and we need the find function. Okay, first let's just start writing left function. The function is going to take 2 arguments. One is the text you're looking for and the number of characters you want to return from that text. Okay, let's assume we looking at the text in C, and we're going to pick here C2, and we want to return 2 characters. 2, we're going to enter 2 there and then close it out and hit enter. Okay, we can see that the function returned 2 characters from the C2 text. To make that number dynamic, instead of fixing the number of characters that's going to be returned, we're going to use the find function. Okay, the find function. Let's take a look at what the find function is doing. Okay, the find function has two compulsory argument and one kind of call it optional argument. And the first one is going to find text. Then the next one is within text, and then we have the start number. Okay. For the find text, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? That's the question. What are you looking for? Then the within text, from where do you want us to find this? So let's take it like this. Let's refer to the cell we have in the text we have in C2. So, and let's look out for what to find. The block opening block bracket there. Okay, that's what we are looking for. So let's use the, because it's a text, so we need that quotation in there, and we're looking for this where in this text. Okay, and we want to start from where? We just want to start from one, the very first point. So now enter one, and I'm going to close this and then hit enter. It's saying that this very opening block bracket that we have is the 53 character starting from number one. Okay, so if we pick this up, this very function here, and replace the static 3 we have here with it. First, let's try, we have 3, okay, 53 as the number here. So if we hit it, you can see we were able to extract the text from the very first character from left to the very point where we have that block open block bracket. Okay, so what next we're going to do is to just replace this with the dynamic function we have in here, and we hit enter. Okay, you can see we don't have that static number anymore, but a unique function that is giving us what we want. But we don't want the opening block bracket in there, so we need to remove it. How are we going to remove that? So we're going to come into our formula here, and we're going to say -1, and we hit enter. We have what we actually need perfectly. Okay, so next we are going to have the data folder, the data, and this is the main file path we're looking for, and I'm going to call it file path 1. Okay, so the most important file path we're looking for here is the data folder file path. Okay, the data folder file path, which is pulling our data, this verified path. That's what we're looking for. That's the most important thing we are looking for. But we need these other steps to actually get the data file path. Now, from the very file path of this current file down to the folder, the next is for us to get the data file path. That's the data folder path. Okay, so let's just get it, and we're going to use concat. Okay, formula. And what are we going to concat? This very one, we can log it up with F4 and this very word, and we just close it, hit enter. that is our folder part, the data folder part. You can just see that there. Okay, we're going to call it here file part 1. Going to be the same with what we have in the range name, okay, for easy identification. Okay, so next, how are we going to connect this file part to our query? How are we going to connect this file part to our query to pull in the data we need to do our to build our dashboard? So let's start to the data, and then we want to go to get data. We're going to pick from what other sources, and we are going to go down to what blank query. Okay, so in here, this is what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to call it order of orders. They just put it that way, and then you can go to the advanced query editor, and in here we want to do something differently. And here we're going to start with, say, folder path. That's what we're going to call it, and we're going to say it's equal to Excel. Okay, current workbook, right? Open and close bracket, and then we have this, and in it we want to have this block bracket, and we're going to have the name, okay, and this is equal to quotation, we call it file part 1. Okay, next we are going to have this, and we're going to call it content. Next we're going to have this one, and you just need value 0 in there, and then last one we're going to have column, and we're going to call it column 1 there, and then we have comma. Coming back to this source, we're now going to have folder dot files, okay, and we open the bracket. What are we going to put in there? We're going to put the previous tab, which is the folder path. That is it. And here we're good to go. So we just hit word, okay, down. Let's see what we have. We have our query connected to the data source, the data folder. So in here, the first step is the folder path, okay, and next we have the data pulling in. You can see the three files we have in the data folder. You can see that, okay, right. Next, what are we going to do?